Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Conqueror Gun Carriage. It's a tier 10 British SPG and it's located on the, well, one of the spawns of Nebelburg, the Grand Battles. So tier 10 Arty, tier 10 game, and this one is under the command of the BassmanFromHell. Yep, another game he played. In fact, it was played on the same day that he had that unfortunate battle on El Haluf. But he certainly did well in that game, so let's see how he gets on in this one. Now, the gun is a 9.2 inch howitzer, which equates to 233 millimeters of pain. And it's got a long reload, 45 seconds, but a very high alpha, 1200 hit points alpha, if it can penetrate. And of course, some of these tanks, it can penetrate, especially ship barns. And he did penetrate a ship barn in the last battle. And I think he's found a nice spot to shoot from here. So you can go around this corner. Yep, he's found a nice bush to hide behind. You see that gorilla moving. There's a Jaeger down below. And he's about to shoot at the enemy. None of the enemy in sight yet. Oh, we can see he's in the southwest spawn. And this appears to be an assault battle as well. He's having a look, he's telling his teammates where he's aiming, marking the ground. I like to do that as well because it gives the team... Oh, there's something moved down there. I saw, yes, there's some trees falling, and so there is an enemy tank there because we can't see one of his teammates, so it must be the enemy who's knocking those things over. Now, if you're not familiar with Nebelburg, it's the same map that they did the Halloween special on. And he flies around in there and he stuns both the Super Conqueror and the Panzer 7. Okay, he's getting a request for fire on that Panzerkampfwagen. Almost loaded, not quite. IS-7's moving up. I think he wants to side scrape around the castle edge. Yeah, he is. He's having pot shots at that Panzer 7. Rounds out. Oh, well, it stunned three. Was it two? Two enemy tanks, sorry. The Super Conqueror and the Panzer 7 again. Now, the Conqueror Gun Carriage never actually got built based on the Conqueror chassis, but they never put it into production. You've only got 24 rounds with this one, so you have to pick your targets. And with that long reload, it's a very long reload, 45 seconds at least. And if you well, at least you can reduce that with a rammer, with vents, and with a good crew. And he fired at that E100, and it lands next door to him, stuns him, and we're picking up stun assist. And that's going to boost the credits that we receive at the end. Unfortunately, Wargaming wants to nerf stun, and that means that a lot of people are going to end up earning less credits simply because they won't be stunning the enemy for enough time for their teammates to get damage on them. And that's a bit worrisome because it means that some players probably won't play Arty because they won't earn enough from it. And if that happens, a lot more games will end up as stalemates, or draws, simply because people are not playing Arty. One of the things that Wargaming analysed was the amount of Arty games against non-Arty games to see how many ended up in stalemates or draws. And apparently not having Arty on the battlefield at all means that there's a very strong likelihood that both teams will not engage each other, or rather they won't want to make moves which could end up with them losing. They will still shoot at each other, but they'll be very reluctant to make moves. Arty tends to force an enemy to move because if they don't move, they'll get hit by the Arty shells. fired at the E100, and yes, he gets some hit points. It was just a little too far away though, but he picked up some stun assists. He's up to 614 hit points of damage, 1,500 of assists so far. Okay, ready to shoot. E100 rounds out. Looks good. Could be a kill. It is a kill, but it's not for him. The kill actually went to the other Conqueror Gun Carriage on his team, Andy 65 2007. His shell got there just a split second before Bassman. So unfortunately, Bassman's shell was wasted. Such a pity when that happens, when you get two shells going for the same target at the same time. Well, he's going to go for this Centurion Action 10 instead. We've lost sight of him. Can't guarantee that he's still there. So instead, he's loaded, but he's now trying to dial in on this IS-7 and Super Conqueror. Seem to be working as a pair. And if they're close together, that means that there's more than likely... Oh, yes! Got the Super Conqueror. If there's two together, then he can stun both of them. And he's picking up stun assists on the stun that he put on the IS-7. Oh, lots of stun assists. He's now up to 2.3k of stun assists. Hunting around for a new target. That Wizzy 115A is in cover. He's gone to overhead to see exactly which way he's going to move. No, I think he's... Well, he's gone back to it anyway. I think he's going to be a difficult shot to hit. And looks like somebody else has marked that target for himself. And somebody just fired a round in and it directly connected with the Wizzy 111. I think that was the E100 firing from the castle. Well, no target in sight except the Jaegeru on the east side of the battlefield. And Bassman spotted that and he's going for it. Dialing in. Rounds out. If this hits, it could do a lot of damage. 259, even from a near miss, is very good. And he's picking up stun assists. And the Jaegeru's down. There's still only one tank up on the enemy, though. That's the problem. Right, there's an E100 there with very low hit points. Only 3 hit points left. A near miss is going to put him out the game. And somebody tried to kill him with Arty. Got very close, but not quite enough. Rounds out. Bassman tries. Hits the castle tower instead. If that's a gate tower, actually, not a castle tower. I'd be very tempted to, yeah. Unfortunately, our Jaegeru's very heavily stunned already. Must have been the enemy Arty that did that. Now, just trying to line up a shot on that Centurion Action 10. We're almost loaded. Get ready. He's marked the target. Well, somebody's marked that target. It's actually the other Conqueror Gun Carriage. That AMX-50B looks like he's rushing to get round the other side of the Centurion Action 10. And yeah, he's gone round the other side, so now that Centurion is going to get right pummeled. We fired the round in, and well, we stunned him. And we're picking up stun assist and did 342 hit points of damage as well. The Centurion's only got 1 hit point left. 1, would you believe it? Oh, Wargaming, you're trolling us. All these tanks going around with 3 hit points or 1 hit point. I know you're trying to keep them in the game for longer and you say, oh, well, we'll give him 1 hit point to survive on. But really, it's a bit too much. It's a bit rich. Okay, that Gorilla's just taken a big hit. We're loaded and he's dead. Now we've got a 5 tank advantage now on the enemy. Not many of them left to kill. In fact, there's only 9 enemy left. Object 268. Soviet Tier 10 tank destroyer based on the T10 hull. Dialing in. Doesn't move. This is going to hurt him. Oh, somebody fired at him. And our shot hit him as well. Okay, switched over to the other side. We've got a T110E5. And we were stunned just a second or so ago. So it looks like enemy Arty must have fired at us. And he stunned our crew. So reloading is a little slower than normal. Now it's speeding up again, but it looks like we've got one of our loaders. I don't know if that's a mod problem. I think it may be a mod problem. Okay, Object 268 again. Dialing in. Mark the target. Looks like the other Arties are also going for him. There's one of them, and it hit the target. Ours is going in, and we get the kill shot. So the other one will pick up the stun assist, and we get the kill. And the Conqueror Gun Carriage ticks, so he was happy as well. He knows that it was Bassman who got the kill. It's rather nice, that actually. I always like it, and I do it myself. Let my teammates know that I'm happy with whatever happened. And I often put a message in chat saying, nice shot, Arty, if it's my teammate Arty who did it, or good shot from the light tank, whoever it was. It sort of encourages your team if you do put these nice messages in. It's a very friendly gesture. Now, I reckon there's probably an enemy tank on the heights overlooking the cap. Yes, there is, and there's a gorilla and a ship bomb. Now, the ship bomb will make a bigger bang, but the gorilla is a bigger threat. 15 centimeter gun. Splash! 500 hit points. And that shot probably damaged the gorilla as well. Ship bomb's pulled back behind the corner. Now, we've got a solid advantage on the enemy, 4 tanks, but most of their enemy tanks seem to be holed up on those heights just above the cap. Now, we've got other teammates shooting at that house. Maybe there's an enemy tank somewhere around there. The Striv is going around to have a look. And yes, there is. It's an enemy Arty. Dialing in. Rounds out. This should be a kill shot. It is. 142. Nice and accurate. And there's another enemy Arty, a GWE 100. And he's just been wiped out by our GWE 100. And that means there's only 5 left on the enemy team. Or is it 4? No, it's 5. 2 of them Arty, 2 tank destroyers, or is it 3 tank destroyers? I think it's 3 actually. Pretty sure they've still got the gorilla, the ship barn, a Striv 103B. They've got a T92 HMC and a Batchat 155-58. And I'm reading that from the silhouettes. I can identify which ones they are. Okay. Somebody's up there. The Striv's going up to have a quick look. The Leopard needs to move in. Unfortunately, he's still sitting up in the castle, taking a sniper position, which is not really being helpful. Both Conqueror Gun Carriages have moved way forward than they really should be, because they need to get the nice trajectory. You don't want to be too close to the target, because that will lower the trajectory, not raise it. There's the gorilla. Dialing in, and rounds out. This should hurt them, and the gorilla's gone down. The Striv got stunned. He's been hit. The Batchat's been hit. Multiple shots going in. The ship barn's been found. They're all above the heights. Only 3 enemies left. 2 enemies left. That's the 1-minute hooter. The game's going to be over in the next 60 seconds. Are we going to be loaded in time? I think so. There's the Striv. Oh, and whoever fired that one in got a fire, and unfortunately, Bassman fires just after the The fire extinguished that enemy, and that means there's only one enemy remaining. And we've got to kill him in the next 30 seconds or they will win. And this guy will end up with a collar ban off. Arty rounds are flying in. We might get one shot on him if we're lucky. Oh, T92 got hit and the IS-7 claims the victory. And that was a shell from the GWE. So we would have had time just for one shot if they hadn't killed him early, a few seconds before. But it was a good game. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. It's a first class tanker for the baseman from hell in the Conqueror Gun Carriage. He picked up a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. Got 21 in that game. But unfortunately, there were no other medals, I'm afraid. But there again, it was a grand battle. Win 8 for that game, 3,225, which is CPU Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see from the team score that he didn't get the highest damage. That went to the Striv 103B. He got he was 4,973. He was the highest score on his team. He got a Confederate medal. It was actually the Guerrilla 15 who got the highest, 5,525 hit points to him. And that was one of the tanks that the baseman managed to hit during his battle. No, baseman managed to get 3,146 hit points of damage. But the Object 261 on his team managed to get 2 medals, a Gauze medal and a Confederate, and 4,121 hit points. When it came to kills, the Guerrilla 15 and the FB4005 on the enemy team both got 4 kills apiece. And Baseman managed to get 3 alongside several other enemies and teammates. And when it came to base XP, well, he was second in this game. The Striv 103 managed to get 1,185. And Baseman managed to get 1,068 base experience points. He fired 16 rounds, got 4 direct hits and 4 penetrations, and 14 splash. Damage of 3,146 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He hit 11 of the enemy, killed 3 of them, and managed to do damage assistance of 498 hit points, and stun assistance of 3,726 hit points off 14 stuns. On a premium account, he earned 78,906 credits, and after reloading the ammunition, 39,000, that was a very expensive one, he took away 39,706 credits. He got 12 bonds for the battle, because it was tier 10, but didn't pick up any awards, unfortunately. But he did pick up 1,602 XP, and there was no multipliers, so that's all the experience points he takes away. But he did have a very good game, and I think he was having a good battle with his own teammate in the Conqueror Gun Carriage, who was also firing at the same targets at the same time. Andy 65 also managed to get 3 kills in that game, and he was just 2 hit points behind Baseman. So these two would have a good ding dong, but look at this. It's more XP for the Baseman, and the reason for that was he managed to get more stun assist. Only 1,457 for Andy 65. But as we see here, Baseman managed to get 3,700. So it was a whole different dimension when it came to stun assist. And that's why he had a higher base XP. So if you enjoyed this battle, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel. And hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.